Fog looks a little thicker than usual this morning. In fact, if I didn't know better, I'd think it was raining. Just a little bit. I'm sure it's going to clear up for the race. Sunday morning, Watkins Glen on the way to Watkins Glen International. Marcus Ambrose, I told you to watch for that boy. Won Saturday's nationwide race. I think Kyle Busch might be a little irritated at him. Went down into the bus stop chicane, into the backstretch, and Marcus put a move on him. Kyle didn't like it. But that's racing. That's the way things go. You got to come up with tricks. Marcus had one. Kyle didn't have a counter. Don't know if that carries over to the day, but there were about a dozen guys in that race yesterday that had been in today's race. Sunday morning at Watkins Glen. See if they learned anything. Actually, this might be a good day, if it doesn't clear up, to try out those new Goodyear rain tires. New generation. They just brought up here for the nationwide race. They didn't bring them up here for the Cup guys, but they could easily bolt them on. Of course, they probably won't. I don't think. Never can tell about NASCAR. It's up to them. Their discretion's what Goodyear says. And you can't really race in the rain. I mean, you can, but you can't really race. But you could race in something like this. This is what they call the wet. It's just kind of wet out there. That's why they try to drive the track, though. On a road course, yeah, no banking. Okay. If you got some banking on the track, you can't really do that much in the rain, no matter what kind of cars you are. But come to think of it, they do race in the rain at Daytona, don't they? Well, anyway, Juan Pablo Montoya. He's the guy I'm going to be watching today. But then he and Jimmy Johnson, who's on the pole for the 2 o'clock start, they both say they're going to be pretty careful. Only 5 races to the chase, and nobody wants to blow a chance to make the playoffs. So maybe this is going to be the calm before the storm. Everybody was sort of worried about the double file restarts. I'm sure there'll be some wild ones. Not quite sure how these guys are going to play that out. I think they want to be ahead of everybody. Going down into the first turn, going up through the S's. Maybe they'll play nice. But the way we talked to some drivers the other day, first 2 or 3 laps on a set of tires, that's when you got to do your passing. These cars are a little too awkward to do much passing once you get some slickness on the track. So, everybody wants to make their move early. Restarts, Carl Edwards says, begets more restarts. That's what he's worried about. Me, I'm thinking gas mileage. I'm thinking gas mileage is going to play a role somewhere today. Teams try to backtrack the 90-lapper and figure out just how to get to the next pit stop so they don't have to make an extra pit stop. Sometimes strategy gets a little carried away. You're not quite sure what people are doing. Kurt Busch was saying that the other day. He says he wished TV would make a little better point of explaining the strategies. Like at Pocono, some guys took 2 tires, some guys took no tires, some guys took 4 tires, some guys didn't even stop, like Clint Boyer at the end. And it made for a very unusual race in terms of who was racing who on what kind of equipment. Could be that way today. Be some gambling going on. Marcus Ambrose isn't going to make the chase, so he can go wide open. All those guys that don't have to worry about making the chase, they can go wide open. The guys that are battling for the chase, and about 6 or 7 of them going for those last 5 spots, like Mark Martin, they got to be careful, or try to be careful. Carl Edwards says he's waiting for the big one. 15 cars in a pileup, right there at the front of the pack. Could happen. I wouldn't be sitting on the outside of the first turn. I'd want to be on the inside of the first turn. Sunday morning, Mike Mulhern from MikeMulhern.net on the road to Watkins Glen International.